Got ourselves I Miss Halinka with Peachy in the back with was a Boomy. We got a UE, we got a Chill Pills and Boomasaur. It looks like Halinka is going to be going up versus GFU off the bat, trying to see if he can make the Shadow Crash around him. Being a Shadow Priest and all, GFU popping in images and looking to maybe get himself a Lexup. Missing Lexup with a greater fade from I Miss Halinka. And if here comes in, we'll introduce Team Red in just a minute, because GFU can literally end this game any second he wants to. Silence of GFU, not going to get a lot of healing. Going to drop it down Siphon. GFU is going to eliminate Siphon immediately, popping into a bit of a re-heal behind the pillar. On his team is going to be SAVOR and Red as a Frost Mage. We got Bob, we got ourselves Hockey, Love, and Skill Issues. And GFU is still catching a couple of Vivifies behind the pillar, as I Miss Halinka is going to kind of let it happen. Try to see if he can get MVT at the beginning. It's going to be touched out onto Miss Halinka. Almost has a greater fade. Trying to get a mind control onto GFU. If it lands a mind control onto GFU, he ignores the touch of death, but looks at touch of death still goes through and has to go for disperse. GFU going to catch himself a little bit of healing. Miss Halinka landing a little bit of that self-heal capabilities. Trying to still get more Shadow Crashes into GFU to build up more resources. That's going to be Vampiric Embrace right now for Halinka versus GFU. If he can somehow lock down GFU in a stun or something, that'd be perfect. GFU reflecting all the odds back to him. It's going to be a Siphon back up and running on GFU. Miss Halinka trying to see if he can maybe get him around the corner. Shadow Crush around the side. Siphon is going to attach back to GFU. It's going to be out in the open. Void Bolts are coming out. It's going to be Silence of the GFU. Fear off of that Fist of Fury is going to be able to get a VT, or try to get a VT up and running back into the Monk. Lexi finally does connect, has a greater fade. If he needs to, is going to greater fade out of here. Trying to catch a heal. It's going to be an interrupt missed by GFU. Halinka looks like started doing damage to GFU maybe a little early, so Greater Fate didn't last long. Trinket out of GFU right now as it's sending more Shadow Crashes in onto the Monk. That's going to be some Shadow Mends for ease. Has a swap if he needs to for his team. That's going to be calm right now into Halinka. Mind to swap with his team. Choose anybody you want to. Swap with Boomasaur. That is allowed. Hell swap for Shadow Priest is allowed, since they're not that great for duels, and one of the utilities in like 3v3s would be the hell swap to be able to get himself a little bit extra health. That would be a cooldown that would normally be able to use. We're trying to kind of recreate a similar feel. GFU looking to get himself a bit of a reset, get a hit with a silence, rolls over to the Siphon, taking it out. It's going to be Shadow Crash around the corner, but not going to make that Shadow Crash. GFU is going to use the mobility to get away. Halinka, honestly, he needs to get himself some dots to get GFU low enough, stun him or something, drop down every cooldown available, and then he might actually be able to do something here. But it's going to be quite rough. Using the stun to get his dots up and running. It's going for mind control into GFU to get him, I guess, running as far as possible. It's going to be really, really tough. Like, he has to really either play Battle for Attrition, and maybe he needs to do this dot thing, right? Dot him up, mind control him, maybe get a Mindbender and Siphon to attack him while he's mind controlled so he can't do anything. It looks like this is going to be Boomasaur popping in just to give him a Soul Health Stones, also allowed, by the way. Also allowed if you have a Warlock on your team. So Boomasaur, if he wants to walk up to Halinka so he doesn't have to worry about it, just have to watch where GFU is at, perfectly allowed. GFU is going to be back in the pillar, get himself a little bit of heals anyway. Silence on the GFU with a Siphon behind him. And a Mindbender to follow. That might be actually a lot of damage. Miss Halinka getting hit with a leg sweep. He's going to go for a disperse. GFU walking up to take out the Siphon. He's sitting at about half his health. Karma coming back very, very soon. He's going to be able to wall his damage for a moment. Stun by Halinka. No Trinket available for a second. Might be a Karma here, honestly. It's going to get an interrupt onto Halinka with a big dress Trinket as the Pest dissipates. Halinka takes the full damage of it. Trying to get a mind control maybe on a GFU if he is able to. No interrupts available. And GFU gives himself a massive heal from skill issues at the very last second. Both of these guys have Warlock Hellstones for this one. And GFU comes in already refreshed with that Warlock Hellstone. Miss Halinka have it to go for Vampiric Embrace, trying to do as much single target damage as he can to GFU. He's going to have Void Eruption, silence on the GFU, so maybe he is able to ignore certain of his CC, certain of his cooldowns or abilities. Fear on the GFU, trying to mind control him. Does he land it? Stops it. Maybe got an interrupt out of GFU. Trying to see if he might be able to get a kick out of the Monk with a Greater Fade up. Might be able to mind control him here. Does hit him with the mind control. The bad part about mind control with Shadow Priest is the pets stop attacking him. Like the Mindbender. It would be great if the Mindbender could at least kept attacking him or something. Gonna be a leg sweep onto Halinka. Looks like Human Racial's out of it. Try to drop in a Siphon. Didn't really sit there for long. GFU kind of low in health. Halinka super low in health. Tried to Shadow Mend it through the damage of a Monk, but I think he might be completely out of options. Vivify coming out for GFU is going to get a big old kick into Mind Blast for Halinka. Trying to get more dots up and running. Void Form up and running. But down he goes. Not a lot a Shadow Priest could honestly do in this kind of a situation. He played as best as he could and looks like Peachy. is going to be scuttling into the arena next. That was a 5-minute game. Halinka played as best as he could. That was as much healing as he could do. Well, Jiffy being able to have the mobility to run away from Monk any moment and be able to just out heal him, essentially. It's super tough. Jiffy actually walking up to Peachy, sees those thorns are bailing out of him immediately. It's going to go for a bit of a self-heal. That's going to be a beam blasted from the skies above. Is doing a little bit of damage. It's suppressing his healing by a hair. Peachy looking like he might even be able to catch himself a restyle. Didn't get to. That's going to be in-card available for Peachy right now. Touch death coming down for G-Few into Alexi. Peachy trick inside of it. Barksteel is available. Needs to do as much damage as he can to G-Few right now while in-card is up. Could be a karma out of the Monk. It's going to get interrupted on nature damage by the looks of it. So he won't be able to cast a regrowth in his face or anything. And Peachy trying to see if he can land a clone onto G-Few. Does go for a feint for a second. Shot him out. Is going to get him with a cycle and no chicken available. Peachy is able to cast a few regrowths and get the hell out of there. G-Few actually went for that Shadow Meld, man. I think it's almost unfair for a Monk to just like bail away from a Shadow Priest, by the way. It's like teleport, heal up to full. It's like, what is the Shadow Priest going to do? He can't chase. Like, if he tries, you're not going to be effective at it. Oh, man. It's just Monks versus Priest, dude. Maybe in Shadowlands cost like Boomkins and Shadow Priests. And Enhancement Shamans and Affliction Works who are better at duels. That'll be the dream, man. It's going to be an interrupt onto Peachy on Arcane. Does land a cyclone onto G-Few. Trying to regrowth himself. Twisted Appendage is on G-Few. Peachy without any health available whatsoever. There might be one more global needed for G-Few and down he goes. Man, from a Shadow Priest into a Boomkin, G-Few just beating up these nerds, dude. Like a jock in a high school. Just beating them up, man. He's twice their size. His right hand bigger than any of their heads. His right bicep bigger than... Oh, goodness. And UIE. How do you call you? Yui? And Yui going to be up next versus G-Few. Going to be a bit of ports, man. I hate ports. What is that? Cannon? UE bringing out the big guns by the looks of it versus G-Few, but he cannot bust through the parries. Wall off for G-Few as UE drops him down into darkness. More cannons loading up, but the cannons are missing the target completely. That's going to be UE going for a big old meta onto G-Few. Looks like he's teleporting himself with a bit of lag. I've been trying to make a hit in G-Few, and it's going to be locked down with that Fist of Fury going down. Boomstar going to be going up next on Team Blue. Who's beating up among nerds? Boomstar yells as he runs out of there. If I had to make this into a story, I miss Halinka and Peachy and Boomstar all hang out on the nerdy club, dude. They play D&D all day. They hang out. They eat snacks, play D&D, talk about their favorite animes and shit and video games and good TV shows and shit. Yeah, Peachy. Yeah, Miss Halinka getting beat up by the jock G-Few. And Boomasaur, the Giga Nerd, the Galaxy Brain, the biggest nerd of them all, is out here. You know what? I'll show what Intel can do against the Might and the Brawn. As a big old Dasher Warlock joins the fight, it's going to get roots back to back onto G-Few, trying to get some rolls in onto Boomasaur. That's going to be Succubus CC as G-Few got himself quite a bit of handle there. That's going to be Succubus CC breaking quite early with a Mortal Coil. No, not going to get the fear. Looks like G-Few with a ring of boopity bop. It's done quite good. Has a kick available for Boomasaur. No action, no kicks available. It's going to be 2 chaos bolts. Went through. G-Few not feeling that good. No karma available for this. So trying to go for a big dress onto Boomasaur. Might be enough damage here with a diffused magic going down as the Destro Warlock scorches him to the ground, dude. Next up is going to be Seavark as a Frosty Mage. Oh my goodness, he got rid of the beard. Oh my goodness. It looks like Seavark actually hitting the pet while Boomasaur is allowed. That's actually a nice trade. Seavark gets to start with resources. Boomasaur gets to start with health. That's actually not bad. That's actually not bad. Seavark starts with full icicles. Boomasaur gets full health. That's an honor duel. I think it's a good trade. I think it's an honorable trade. I actually like this one. I think this is going to be a very interesting duel. Seavark is a Frost Mage, so he's going to have a bit of a hard time. This is the Destro Warlock he's playing up against. Seavark, Frost Mage already have a hard time, duels in particular, but him starting with full icicles might at least give him a little bit of burst potential. Just because the ramp for Frost Mages is insane. Is he ever trying to see if he might be able to get some big damage on the Boomstar? Needs to go for as many instant casts and shatter everything onto Boom as he can. Is going to get roots on the Boomstar. Is going to go for the Dark Iron Racial, trying to remove all the slows off of him. That's going to be a big old Casbolt. Deceiver does go for a Temporal at 31% dampening. He's going to recover some health, but not all of it. Trying to land a Blizzard or a Frostbolt onto Boom. Going to be a Pet Interrupts. Deceiver actually is full free to go for as many Frostbolts and Boomstar as he wants to. Actually going to build up those Frostbolts from the pet in the back, but that's going to be Infernal on top of him. That's going to be Cataclysm on top as well. As Boomstar dropping down the Rain of Fire, that's going to beef up his next few Casbolts while the Infernal is up. It looks like, was that not a real Infernal? That's not a real Infernal. Invis coming out for Seawork, but how does the Tentacle still tag him? That Invis not work? No, that Invis must have worked. There's no way he didn't. Real Infernal coming down. Real shit. Let's see if we're popping into a ice block, and I think that might be done here, man. I think Seawork is out of cooldowns. He's not. He's keeping his cool, but his cooldowns though, dropping down a bunch of shadows onto Boomstar, doing quite a bit of damage altogether with the Frozen Orb. But Seawork is still back there, very very careful about where he's at. Ray of Frost coming into Boomstar, almost didn't have the reach onto Seawork. He almost didn't have a reach. And Seawork is still melting into the dots, having to go for Ice Block as the pet is back there with an Immolate still attacking. Come flag. Either way, that's super tough. Super, super tough. And that pet is looking to get a chomp out of Seawork. Can't even polymorph that thing. He's going to be able to root it. Trying to reposition to another side of the pillar. That's going to be Cataclysm on one side, trying to heal himself with Crucible as best as he can. Boomstar is looking to get around that corner. That's going to be a stun Cataclysm, and that's going to be so much damage on the Seawork with this high dampening. 41%. That Temporal is not going to do much for you. Barely any health gain. Actually gained as much health as he possibly could. Blinking away from Boomstar before he can get any casts off. But Boomstar, oh, couple conflags also he needed. Just a couple instant casts. It's going to be immediate. Whoa. Immediate Mortal Coil to Hockey Love, who's going for a bubble. Trying to go for biggest damage on Boomstar. No waste for this man. Why do you bubble? Now wings are coming out super late. Boomstar might still be able to get a Succubus C. There goes a Succubus Seduction. No bubble for this man whatsoever. So for Boomstar, this might be a winnable situation. Hand of Frame needs to come over this man right now. No, he doesn't get to. No Trinket coming out either. That's going to be a big old Casbolt with a couple of Incinerates. And Hockey Love is already at half his health, trying to cleanse himself as much as possible. It's going to be yet another Casbolt. I think this man is just down for the count with the rest of the dots. Trying to pop Eye for an Eye that only works for physical damage. The pet is over there, is still going to be able to whip Hockey Love into shape. No more Immolate dots on him though. So it might be okay. Trying to feel around the corner with a Cataclysm was probably going to cap him off though. Stun comes off. Cataclysm lands. Leap target. Random Infernal dropping in. Hockey Love didn't even stand a chance right after you press that bubble. That was it. That's going to be a Casbolt just to bust through that immediately. Who's up next? Is it going to be Bop? This is going to be Skill Issues as another Destruction Warlock, I would think. I think it's a Destruction Warlock. As Boomstar having to fight back through Team Red, man. As Boomstar having to fight back through the whole of Team Red. He's trying. He's surviving. He had to beat up G-Few after all his homeboys got beat up by that big old bully. And now Boomstar, the big boomer man that he is, trying to show it that a boomer still got it. Just for reference, Boomstar is not a boomer. I feel like that would be great for the lore, but no. Big what? Whoa. Sorry for the coughs, but I was flabbergasted that he sank 2 Casbolts into the pet just now. Skillish is just saying 2 Casbolts back to back into the pet. Into the interrupt pet. I mean, I had a cough coming on, but I realized cough because of that. Just threw away a couple of cans. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do. Maybe he was just trying to, it's like, well, if I can't touch Boom, maybe I should just at least hit the pet. Maybe that's what he's trying to go for, but that seems like a little much. But one of them still has Infernal. It looks like Boom is still with Infernal. Ooh, as people leave in the groups. Now we have cooldowns, offenses, and defenses like it is the AWC. That's going to be trying to get a banish off of Skill Issues. Not going to happen. Boom is going to trick it out of that CC with the Cannibal trying to come up. And that's going to be Fear locking him out. His Skill Issues got pretty fast casting. His fingers are fast. Got him fast hands. That's going to be twisted appendage onto the pet of skill issues. This is going to have to summon a new one as Boomasaur does take it out as we hit in that 60% dampener in just a moment, boys. Oh, the 15-minute mark. Trying to land a Cataclysm around the corner. Does connect. That's going to be caught a lot of resource for Boom. Does have Dark Soul. Does not have Infernal for a while. Could go with a Dark Soul at a later time onto skill issues separately. Trying to land an Incinerate. Has a Mortal Coil coming up soon. Skill issues does Reflect. If he plays Reflect right, he could still stand a chance here. Getting a Cataclysm onto Boom. Again, if he plays Reflect, he might be okay. Looks like it's going to be Boom's pet down for the count. Trying to resummon a new one. Going to be Gladiator's Breach to land himself invisibility. Is he invisible? He must be. Yeah, he is. He's going to try to see if he can summon a new Fell Hunter. Does get up and running. Skill issues and Boom are going to trade Mortal Coils. Skill still has Reflect available. He has Relent. Being a human, he doesn't really have to trick it a lot. That's going to be Reflect off of that Fear. Setting a Fear back into Boom. Not really sure if he needed to. It's going to be yet another Fear. Caswell to follow. Into a Fear again. Caswell to follow. Lock and Boomer out with Fears. This is going to be the fastest cast in the West here. It's going to summon a random Infernal on top of Boom. As Boom is going to try to see if he can get a big old Casbolt rolling into the pet, trying to do a bit of damage there. Got himself a Warlock Hellstone. Skill issue still has Dark Soul. Boomasaur actually has nothing, but Infernal coming up very, very soon. It looks like he's going to bolt the pet. Looks like both of these guys like bolting each other's pets. I guess just take him out since there's nothing else to hit. We're hitting that 16-minute mark, almost 16:30. That's got to be Infernals coming down. Real Infernal for Boomasaur. It looks like a 3-minute Infernal. And for skill issues, it's a pretty short Infernal, so it looks like Infernal on top of Infernal. Mortal Coil is available for the both of them, so it looks like as soon as they see each other, might be a Mortal Coil Bonanza. Skill issues is going to have his pet going down for a second, not getting an interrupt onto Boom. Does spare Reflect maybe a little bit early, so Boomasaur doesn't need to worry about it yet. And then skill issues is super low on health, sneaking around the corner. Let's get a Mortal Coil into Boom. Does trick it out of it. There's going to be a wall over skill issues into. Oh no! Either he left. I mean, he did die, but I'm pretty sure he left at the last second. I'm not even sure what killed him. I think it was just Infernal, just the roaring blaze of the Infernal. The heat just couldn't handle it. 72% dampening as Boomstar having to go versus Bob. Is going to root him for a second. It looks like Bob is looking to get behind a pillar, which is perfect for Boom as he catches a little bit of the drain life. Bob looking out like he wants to get up in the open. Hand in front of behind the pillar. Going to try to NASCAR into Boomstar. He doesn't have Mortal Coil for 10 more seconds. And Bob is coming in fresh, ready for everything. Remounting up. Boom is still getting those roots onto Bob and is doing a good job. Rooting him, slowing him. The pet is also slowing him. The succubus is doing a good job slowing the guy. Bob trying to see if he can heal. At 72% damage, as you can see, the flashlights are not really doing a lot. And Boom even going with the range of fire, which doesn't do a lot of single target damage. Even that bits of damage is enough to start putting pressure onto Bob. Bob has Bubble. He's also playing Crusade, so I think he needs to get a Crusade rampant ASAP. He's not going to have the immediate damage or the haste from Crusade, which is going to suck for him. And actually, Boom, if he wants to keep the pet over there, with Bob, he might have been in a good spot. It's going to be Shield of Vengeance, Mortal Coil as Bob is trying to approach Boom. Does hit him with a stun. Succubus seed to follow. It's going to be Random Infernal who's going to break that Succubus unless it did break at the last second. Bubble coming out for Bob. That's going to be Boom going for the other side with a board. Bob is out in the open. Bubble not available for too long. Does have wings up and running. Not the most amount of damage or haste with those wings of Crusade. He's trying to get some damage to the Boom. He does get himself a wall with an Invis. Just needs to get himself a big old Casbolt and a Bop, and that's going to be it. One Casbolt, Real Infernal coming in. Second Casbolt might not even be the end. It was the end. It was the final Casbolt to get a full big old chomp at Bop. And Boomasaur came back, fought for Team Blue, thick and thin, 1v5. Amazing. Destra Warlocks, boys. Destra Warlocks. And I feel like Destra Warlocks are going to be even more busted with a change to versatility next week, because they're just going to go full haste. You saw Boom getting cast off, and then the other Warlock he was fighting has full haste. Right now, that versatility is really, really strong. But that haste, dude, is so fast. God damn.